for Biafrans to pay their respects to fellow departed Biafrans. Our thoughts and prayers are with all families whose loved ones, fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, husbands, wives, children, unborn children, nursing mothers, and many more were killed during the genocide and are still being killed, maimed, beheaded, massacred on daily basis by the Islamic Janjaweeds in Nigeria, and also all Biafrans who have died fighting for what they believe in. At this moment, we invite every family and friends to remain coordinated. Please be coordinated for the memorial service and remembrance journey. We remember our people who suffered and died so that we could be free and secure. May their memory be more than a distant shadow. We remember Major General Johnson Thomas Omunakwe Aguironsi. Remember. Colonel T.C. Onwatuegu. Remember. Lieutenant Colonel Nicholas Ejike. Remember. Major Chukuma Kaduna Nzogu. Remember. Captain G.N.E. Ugala.
We remember.
Major C.J. Anuforo.
We remember.
Major D.O. Okafo.
We remember.
Second Lieutenant A.D. Mbadiwe.
We remember.
Lieutenant A.D.C. Ebuna.
We remember.
Captain A.L. Orok.
We remember.
Captain A.O. Abet.
We remember.
Major B.E. Namane.
We remember.
Major Christopher Emelonwu.
We remember.
Captain Chukwueke.
We remember.
General Chukwemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu.
We remember. Oh my God.
Victims of the 1945 up to 1966 pogroms.
We all remember.
Victims of the Asaba massacre.
We remember.
For their dreams left unfulfilled and their lives taken too soon away from us and humanity, we remember.
Remember.
And may their courage be our inspiration and strength.
We say.
Second reading.
On behalf of our able Deputy National, the souls of the righteous are in the hand of Chukwukika Abiyama.
We say.
And there shall be no more torment touching them.
We say.
In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery. They are going from us to be utter destruction. But they are in peace. For though they may be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality. And having been a little chastened, they shall be greatly rewarded, for Chukwukika Abiyama approved them and found them worthy for himself.
We say.
We remember our brothers and sisters, our fathers and mothers, and the children whose sacrifice kept the dream of Biafra based on truth, love, justice alive.
Remember.
We remember Major General Philip Effiong,
Remember.
Major General Alexander Maduebo,
Remember.
Colonel Achibong,
We remember.
General Achusie,
We remember.
Colonel Emmanuel Nwokosi,
We remember.
Lieutenant E.C.N. Achebe,
We remember.
Second Lieutenant E. Ogbonnaya,
We remember.
Lieutenant Colonel G.O. Okoweze,
We remember.
Lieutenant G.O. Mbabie,
We remember.
Captain H.A. Iloputi Ife.
We remember.
Major I.E. Ekanem.
We remember.
Lieutenant Colonel I.C. Okoro.
We remember.
Captain I.U. Itika.
We remember.
Major J.I. Obienu.
We remember.
Major J.O.C. Ihedibu.
We remember.
The following use their talents to advance the Biafran cause. Amechi.
Remember.
Mazi Okokondem.
Remember.
Dr. Clement Okoro. Honorable Piaru.
Remember.
Mazi Maurice Prince.
We remember.
Pachino Achebe Strength.
The same.
All hail Biafra. Following reading of Biafran, we are all calling upon the Most High Chukwukikabiam to intervene in most of the people who have do the needful. We are going to remember them. We remember Colonel Dennis Obianyo.
Remember.
We remember Colonel Ikechukwu Obi.
Remember.
We remembered Colonel P.C. Okoye.
Remember.
We remembered P.O. Dike.
Remember.
We remembered Vicente Nwagu.
Remember.
We also remembered all those who are fallen for the restoration of Biafra. And we also remembered Collins Obi.
We remember.
Using a lighting candle raised up from the face from the east, and we said, we remember.
We remember.
May their courage be our inspiration and strength.
The same. Oh, hail Biafra.
While we sorrow for our loss.
The fourth reading, they remind us that our lives are to be lived in accordance with divine providence and ready to lay it down for the cause of Biafra and salvation of humanity, that we are diligently to work while it is yet day, so that when the call comes to lay down our tools, we may be found ready to enter into the kingdom of Chukwukikabiam, where in his light we shall see light. We remember the falling of our Biafran armed services. We remember the victims of terror and tragedy. We remember the millions of defenseless women, men and children bombed in the markets, starved to their death in schools and hospitals by Soviet means and piloted by Egyptians. We remember. Warrant Officer Elijah Anosike.
We remember.
Staff Sergeant Ewom Ejog.
We remember.
Warrant Officer Ndareke Uya.
We remember.
Staff Sergeant Davidson Joko.
We remember.
Staff Sergeant Silvanus Ezuku.
We remember.
Sergeant Ivan Jim Udo.
We remember.
Corporal Pius Dike.
We remember.
Corporal Michael Akudike.
We remember.
Corporal Johnson Agu.
We remember.
Last Corporal Gabriel Okezie.
We remember.
Sergeant Mbanefo Lawrence Afrum.
We remember.
Sergeant John Ukeje.
We remember.
Sergeant Major Albert Ogumba.
We remember.
Sergeant Hyacinth Obachi.
We remember.
Sergeant Emmanuel Ochi.
We remember.
Sergeant Peter Ejimako.
We remember.
Sergeant Nana Otuchere.
We remember.
Sergeant Morris Abali.
We remember.
Sergeant Peter Ndubisi. Sergeant Obed Adini.
We remember.
Using a candle, raise it up facing the east. We say, May their courage be our inspiration and strength.
While we sorrow for our loss, let us lift up our hearts in thanks, giving for their sacrifice. Fight well fought, life well spent, and work well done. Let us humbly pray that we may be given grace, strength, and wisdom to enable us to perform our duty in the pathway of Biafra quest and of life's service. May the darkness of their loss not obscure the light of our peace. They were in love with the land of Biafra, and we are in love with life. For the agony, the tears, the mothers and the fathers, and the children who were massacred will remember. Lance Corporal David Ishikuma, Patron Fidelis Onyekwe, Patron Mba Iroha, Sergeant Celestine Okafo, Lance Corporal William Olani, Patron Innocent, Lance Corporal Josiah Onyejiaka, WO1 Joseph Mba, Lance Corporal Matthew Njumike, Sergeant Joseph Ibekwe, Lance Corporal Lawrence Ogbonnayakalo, WO1 Daniel Lawrence, Patron Christian Ifede, Lieutenant Reginald Ibe, Patron Patrick Osuji, Patron AK.
I just saw you there, like I was like,
Patron Stephen Ikelu,
you know, like you saw it too anyway.
Lieutenant Augustine Apo, Lieutenant Moses Ikejioba, Patron Egwonye Ugochukwu, Patron Francis Ugochukwu, Patron Aaron Osigwe, Major Dominic Chilaka Nwokoro, Major Mark Emelogo, Major Emeka Ekwenugo. Using a lighted candle, raise it up, facing the east. We say, may their courage be our inspiration and the strength.
Sixth prayer point. By the light of divine countenance, we shall then pass without fear in the face of our adversaries, through the valley of the shadows, and at last shall receive reward of true virtue, of truth and honesty, and acquire the possession of Biafra land and of an immortal inheritance. For death cannot keep us from the face of Chukwuokike Abiam, whose strong grip will free us from Nigeria bondage and lift us out of shadows into the light that cannot die. In the numberless towns and villages in Nigeria and the rest of Africa and elsewhere in Europe and Asia, where we have lived, too many of them, we have endured cruel suffering, died in the hands of our fellow human beings, just because of who we are. We remember Staff Sergeant Afogboro.
Remember.
Staff Sergeant Peter Bassi.
We remember.
Sergeant Robert Bassi.
We remember.
Sergeant Michael Uche.
We remember.
Sergeant Boniface Njemanzi.
We remember.
Corporal Timothy Isianyi.
We remember.
Corporal Sunday Amoli.
We remember.
Corporal Anthony Amoli.
We remember.
Corporal Paul Odakwo.
We remember.
Corporal Festus Nwadika.
We remember.
Corporal Dennis Kenechukwu Nwajiago.
We remember.
Corporal Barnabas Chibog.
We remember.
Captain Ugwu.
We remember.
Corporal Agone Chemba Uchugu.
We remember.
Corporal Christopher Aniagolo.
We remember.
Corporal Godwin Ikechukwu Afunugo.
We remember.
Sergeant Ogbogo Peter Ohagwe.
We remember.
Sergeant Richard Ogu.
We remember.
Sergeant Chukwuemeka Okenwa.
We remember.
Corporal Oliver Onyegwe.
We remember.
Using a lighted candle, rising up facing the east, we say, may their courage be our inspiration and strength.
On behalf of our First Lady, LoveJusticePeace, on behalf of our First Lady, Lolo Uchechi Upukalo, generations of victims and martyrs, still their blood cries out from the earth. What can we say? What can we do? How do we bear the unbearable or accept what life has for our people? We know that all that was born must die, but how do we compare the slow passages of time with the callous slaughter and starvations of millions of innocents caught up before their time, that lived with faith and hope, not all but most. Corporal Reginald Gray, Corporal Joseph Adaka, Lieutenant Colonel Silas Uzoma, Lieutenant Corporal Maurice Ibekwe, Private Joseph Ibe, Private Canelo Sugwaha, Private John Ekuba, Private Stephen Uche, Private Ekwechukwu Uche,
Remember.
Private Uche Nwobealo,
Remember.
Private Uraya Ogele, Private Damen Mosu, Private Emmanuel Nwo Ahamo, Lieutenant Colonel Dixon Nweke, Lieutenant Corporal Cyril Uguanya, Lieutenant Silas Uwaga, Lieutenant Sunday Umuchuarba, Lieutenant Uguaho Ezukwisili, Corporal Innocent Achugu, Lieutenant Colonel Ayosugu Amare Madike. Using a light candle raised up facing the east, we say, may their courage be our inspiration and strength.
Be saved.
All hail Biafra.
All hail Biafra.
Though we are driven out of our homes when we need them the most, to foreign lands where we live in agony and untimely death, we are still full of hope more than ever because we have you. At home, our enemies use our own misguided people to poison us, to ambush us, to point out to the enemies. Yet, we continue the mission both in flesh and in spirit because we have you, Chukwu Okike Abiyama. Chukwu Okike Abiyama sent us on this mission and we cannot fail. We with you, Chukwu Okike Abiam, with our hope and our Redeemer. Our victory is assured. We remember Chimobi Okafor, aka Waka Waka Biafra.
Remember.
We remember Commander Ikonso.
Remember.
Biafra unknown hero. His name, Bruce Mero, is his name.
Remember.
Bruce Mero was a Columbian University student, 20 years of age, from Old Westbury, New York. Bruce Mero burned himself to death on the lawn of the United Nations building, United Nations headquarters, to protest the genocide on Biafrans being committed during the Nigerian Biafra War, with a big sign that read, "You must stop genocide. Please save 9 million Biafrans." Bruce Mero died about 9 hours after he set himself ablaze. Bruce Mero was born May 6, 1949, and he took his own life on May 30th, 1969. For people whom he has never met before, two United Nations spotted the flame and chased the youths across the lawn with the fire extinguisher. But Bruce Mero eluded the guards, racing in front of the north lounge of the building before several hundred horrified delegates and onlookers. The student finally fell on his knee beside a statue bearing a biblical inscription. Let us bear our sword into plowshares. And the guards extinguished the flames. Mero was rushed to Beverly Hospital, where he was listed critically conditioned with burns all over his body, and was pronounced dead shortly after midnight. At the United Nations, guard found a large cardboard sign in front of the lawn, which read, "You must stop the genocide. Please save 9 million Biafrans." At the bottom of that cardboard, a quotation read, "Peace is where there is an absence of fear of any kind." Hero on fire, Bruce Mero. Biafrans all over the world remember you. We will never forget your sacrifice in defense of our freedom. May their courage be our inspiration and strength.
followed by the benediction. Almighty and everlasting Father, you are our only hope. Our trust is in Thee and Thee alone. Those who took the mantle of leadership in Biafra land have turned against your faithful children and your holy land, Biafra. They have colluded with the Fulani and their British masters to hand our lives and blessed land, Biafra, over to the enemies. In our own land.
You say,
in the hand of the Fulani ginger weed. We, your chosen children, have awakened to our responsibilities. Please, Father in heaven, fortify us like steel to fight on till victory. Expose the enemies within and without. Let them have no peace of mind. No place to rest. Reveal all their evil plots against us. And turn them against themselves. Grant us the upper hand and absolute victory soon. So that those who have died in their siege will finally rest. We remember victims of Operation Python Dance 1 and 2. We remember victims of Umpo massacre murders. We remember victims of CKC massacres. Remember victims of Aba High School massacres. Remember victims of Iguacha Port Harcourt massacre. Remember victims of Emene massacres. Remember victims of Obibo massacres. Victims of the ongoing siege, massacres all over Biafra land and beyond.
We remember.
Light a candle. May their courage be our inspiration and strength. Almighty and most merciful Abiyama, in whom we live and move and have our being, and before whom all men must hereafter appear to render an account of the deeds done in the body. We do most earnestly beseech Thee to impress upon our minds the solemnities and infamy of this day. May we ever remember that in the midst of life we are in death, and so live and act our separate parts, that we may have no cause for sorrow or fear when the hour of departure is at hand. And on this we commit our being in pursuit of Biafra nation, that the souls of those who have died may find rest in your presence.
All hail. A massive thank you to all those that said the prayer. We will now welcome our UK National MC to give us an opening speech, please. A welcome address, Apollo.
IPOB.
One family.
IPOB.
One family.
Wider. One united. indomitable, indestructible family. All protocols duly observed. Today, we join our good people of Biafra all over the world to pay this tribute, which you have just done. They pay the ultimate price that we may live and we continue to live, because that is the will of Biafra. Though our enemies seek our downfall and destruction, though they kill us, massacre us, even bury us, but they have no clue, because we germinate like seeds. Biafra will live forever, and Biafra freedom is guaranteed. As we pay this tribute and glowing honor to our heroes and heroines today, it does not end here or today. May 30th is symbolic also for the declaration of the sovereign state of Biafra by our eternal father, the People's General, Tim Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Chukwu, on the 30th of May, 1967. Most of us know the history, the true history behind that declaration. And soon after, the Janjaweed, who have connived with this great country, the Great Britain, to take our land and resources, pounced on our people. They thought it was a pogrom, a genocide they could accomplish in a matter of days. In fact, Gowon, who was the head of state then, boasted that it will only take a few weeks. But due to the resilience of our people, we stood them and stood our ground, and actually we are at the verge of victory. We were deceived to believe that reintegrating into Nigeria would be a piece of cake. And they came up with what they call the 3R, which is another fash, another fraud. It never happened. It was never meant to happen. After killing 5 million plus, mostly children and women, harmless children and women, on the 15th of January 1970, they celebrated what they called an end to their killing. But it's a shame that 54 years plus on, the same intent is prevalent. The killing continues. And the question is, for how long will we carry on like this? Enough must be enough. An end must come to criminality. An end must come to illegality. Yes. Nigeria is a crime scene. All the conducts and proceedings in Nigeria are illegal, which we have seen, starting from the executive, their legislature, and their judiciary. And unfortunately, the citizenry as well. And that is why we must extricate ourselves from the contraction called Nigeria, because we are children of light. We are the children of Umuchukwu. IPOB championed this extrication mission to free us from this oppression, repression, and depression. Our great leader, Oyenduma Nnamdi Kanu, in pursuit of this divine mandate, has been chased down all over the world and is currently still under illegal incarceration in the hand of the Janjaweed. Nearly 3 years now, despite the fact that he has been pronounced by their own court of prudence and jurisdiction, the Federal Court of Appeal, to be innocent and therefore discharged and acquitted, they are still holding on to him illegally. We have tried to be patient. We have tried to be reasonable as much as we can. We've done all within our powers. Heaven and earth will bear us witness that even when we have been pushed to the walls, we have remained civil. We have remained civilized in our conduct. But enough must be enough. An end must come to criminality. An end must come to illegality. When the person and the cattle must be released, where are the laws of humanity? Where are the rules that are supposed to represent civilization come from in this great country to make citizens for crying out loud such persecution, both of us countries of the world, to be very acceptable. All over the world, countries recognize IPOB. Therefore, IPOB cannot and has never been a terrorist organization. We again want to put it to this parliament. We have written them several times, and even at the Zoo High Commission, to remind them Nnamdi Kanu has not committed any crime known to man and God. Biafrans have not committed any crime. All we have been asking is a simple referendum to determine our own future. Win the referendum and we get our independence. Lose it and we go back and regret. Yes. It's as simple as that. That is not difficult. It's not rocket science. We continue on that path. We will never win. We will never change. Never. Keep on fighting the good fight, and end must come. And it will end in glory. It will end in victory. The glory of Twokadiam. God bless all of us. And please let us conduct the rest of today's activity in the most impeccable manner, orderly, following all the instructions. And I think at the end of the day, we could have made a very significant statement as usual. Thank you very much, and God bless you. All hail Biafra! 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 Biafra kule buso Nigeria. Biafra kule buso Nigeria. Makagini nila hamo nila maiti kelera Ebeka unu si Biafra kamara po Biafra Ebeka unu si Biafra unu nala Biafra kamara po Biafra
Thank you, Chief Knight.